Good afternoon, Wolfpack community. Welcome to my humble abode. I hope you enjoy the Christmas lights as much as I do. My name is Cody Zane. I am a PhD candidate over in the Fiber and Polymer Science program in the Wilson College of Textiles. I'm also a mental health ambassador with the Counseling Center and a co-founder and organizer of the Graduate Mental Health Alliance, which was putting on the Graduate Student Mental Health Symposium that was supposed to be this Friday. As you may have seen through advertisements or emails, we've had to postpone that event until fall of 2020, but I still wanted to touch base with our community about mental health while social distancing due to COVID-19. And I want to start by really telling you that I haven't been immune to the stresses either. There's been a lot happening, and especially in the last 2 weeks with how many changes that have occurred, not only here at NC State, but within our larger community of Raleigh and the United States as a whole. And I actually ended up in the ER a little over a week ago due to a panic attack. I couldn't breathe. I was having trouble breathing because I was so stressed out. I was so anxious that I actually needed to go get a nebulizer in order to breathe and to calm me down. And so, all that said, I think it's really important that as we're told to social distance, it's really good to remember that it doesn't mean that we have to socially isolate, right? One, social distance doesn't mean that we have to quarantine ourselves here in our houses, although that's most likely where we're going to get our work done. But it doesn't mean that we can't go outside and go for a walk, right? I mean, if you have dogs like I do, you can go out for a walk, take an hour out of your day, go get some exercise, breathe some fresh air. Maybe it means meeting up with one of your friends who lives like 2 minutes down the road or within your complex and just go on a walk. Social distancing just means that we have to be cognizant of our interactions with others, right? So when we do go and interact with others, that we keep that distance between them. But even after that, social distancing, even if you don't want to go and interact with others because you feel that that's just going to increase your stress, it doesn't mean social isolation. We live in a fantastic world. I mean, we have the ability to see others in real time by doing FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, Google Hangouts. There are so many different platforms to do that. And in fact, that's something that's really been helping me out from my lab setting is we've been getting together a few times a week just to sit on FaceTime or Zoom, just to have a face there to keep us accountable for the work we need to get done. And we do that for an hour or two, right? And it's been really, really beneficial for me. But even on top of that, I think it's important to also remember that we need to take the time to slow down, right? I mean, we've basically been given all of this free time because we don't have the commitments that we need at school. Yes, some of them are remote. If you're a teaching assistant, you can still teach online and get all that stuff done, but there's a lot of work that you're probably doing in the school setting. Like for me, I'm a research assistant. I was doing stuff in lab, which I can't do anymore. So it's freed a lot of time for me to sit back and really be introspective on what I need and really take into account of what's going on in my life. And what's helped me is what's helped me is to keep a routine, right? So I try and wake up at the same time every day. I eat lunch and breakfast and dinner at roughly the same time because it gives me those time points to latch onto. For someone who's as anxious as I am, it's really crucial that I find the things that I can control because there's so much out of my control, right? There's so much going on with NC State and this COVID-19 business that's where my panic attack came from. But if I find the things that I can control, a routine, when I eat, how I work in my workflow, it gives me a basis to latch onto and really measure my progress. Like I said, I also get up and get out. I try and go and walk my dogs at least once a day for an hour or so around my neighborhood. And I went out and I bought a bunch of puzzles and coloring books out at Target and a couple other places because it helps keep my mind active. So I'll take a half-hour break and I'll go do a Disney puzzle. By the way, it's $10 at Target. You get 500-piece puzzles. They're fantastic. I've been having so much fun. But again, it just gets me out of my head to go and focus on something and really slow down. The coloring books, I love it. They're adult coloring books, so it's got fun curse words and sayings that I can joke around with and have fun coloring around and inside the lines and giving it nice palette of colors. But, you know, it's hard because mental health, I can list off everything that I do to help my mental health, but it might not help you, right? It can help you give a basis for what you need to decide that is best for you. Um, and that's the whole thing, but we just need to start talking about it. That's the important part. And you know what? When all else fails, there are people out there that want to talk about it. There's me. If you want to email me and just have a conversation, I'm not a therapist. I won't give you any advice on how to deal with things. I could just be a pair of ears to talk to. If you want to email me, cpzane@ncsu.edu, please feel free. Go ahead. I'll set up a Zoom meeting. We can FaceTime, whatever. I'll have a conversation about anything. Why you think the sky is blue? If you just need someone to be there. But the NC State Counseling Center has been doing a fantastic job of accommodating the virtual needs of NC State closing. And they've given you the ability to call the front desk to set up a meeting, and you can get triaged and set up your counseling virtually through their virtual counseling network. It's safe and secure. It's all confidential, again. And this is all paid for your student fees, even though we're not physically at that location. So please, social distancing, again, does not mean social isolation. Don't listen. I know it's a lot of jokes on social media, but it does not mean quarantine. It doesn't mean that you can't call up your family members and have a FaceTime conversation, or your friends or your lab mates. It doesn't mean that you can't get out of your house, just as long as you're being cognizant of those social distancing guidelines. I want to make sure that our community is going to be as strong as possible during this time, because mental health is so important to me, and I know it is so important to our community. And I've been here for 10 years, and it really is true that the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. So if we all come together and start having this conversation and making sure that we keep up with all of our mental health collectively, we are all going to get through this as an NC State community. So please, just keep yourselves together. Reach out if you need it. There's always help if you ask for it. Thank you very much, and have a great day.